I either want to have a good time or learn stuff. And if I don't, then it's a waste of time. And the most valuable thing you have on the planet is time. Without time, you can have nothing. And you can't afford to waste time. Time is precious, as the sands of time do not go uphill. So hopefully you will either enjoy yourself, learn stuff, or both. I got a dot on the bottom of my chair. You know Louis Braille's wife's name? Anybody know? Yeah, Dottie Braille. Dottie Braille. And why can't a blind person go skydiving? It scares the crap out of the dog. Now, why is that a good joke? Why is that a good joke? Does it make fun of people with disabilities? It makes fun of doggies, and meanwhile the doggies don't have a lobby, so I don't have to worry about the doggies. So you can, and you know, when we used to use the N-word, and now we can't even, we have to say N, we can't even, and words have power. And the second most important thing you have, in my opinion, in my not so humble opinion, is self-concept. Now the ADA is really my religion. And by the way, I'm really substituting for Matthew Dietz, so you can call me Matthew if you want. And if you don't like my speech, remember my name is Matthew. And I'm glad there's attorneys here, which is good. We need more attorneys in Miami. There's not enough attorneys. There's a big shortage of attorneys. But let's talk about the religion. What does a religion do? What does a religion do? We have gospel, which is the ADA. We're believers. It's a cause. That's what we do. And what I'd like to do is those people who aren't in my religion, I'd like to convert them. That's what religions do. People in religion that we want to convert because we have the truth. We have the truth and we have the gospel and we have that. And forgive me those people who think I'm irreverent because I'm very irreverent. But that's... Now, also, my speech, I'm a scattered speaker. So those psychological myopic people are the people who wear vertical stripes on their shirts. They don't mix their Play-Doh. They color in between the lines, and they grow up to be myopic. They use words like "I see what you mean," and they use words like "keep focused," and they're going to hate my speech. Now, these people make rotten blind people because they're visual people. Auditory people never had an unexpressed word, never had an unexpressed thought. They tell you more than they know. And they make rotten deaf people. Kinesthetic people who hop, skip, and jump, basketball players, make rotten paraplegic, quadriplegic people. Tactual people who they use words like keep in touch. They like to use your hands. They make rotten arm amputee people. Then you have gustatory and olfactory, which are not important in our society, but choose your disability wisely. Now, we have words. Words have power, and I talked about the N-word before. So, handicap. What does handicap come from? Begging, keeping your hat in your hand. We don't use that. All those signs you got out there, handicap, bad words, not good. Confined to the wheelchair, bedridden. All those words mean not empowerment. One of the things, when you fly an airplane, when you drive, when you swim, you have control. When you lose control, what happens? Now, you have to have the tools to fight the battle to get control, because when you lose control, you become depressed. And I just wrote a paper that's going to be published in the journal next month on the anterior cingulate cortex. Again, I'm skipping around because I think it's important. The anterior cingulate cortex in your brain is responsible for pain. Every time you have pain, if you do an fMRI, it lights up in the anterior cingulate cortex. But for some reason, that same part of the brain has to do with social distress. When you get divorced, when you get fired. So in my paper, I say you have three choices. You can either take pills, and then you know if you take enough pills, one's bound to work. You gotta take a lot of pills, correct? You gotta keep on taking pills. You can come to my office for 30 years of psychotherapy, and we talk about how your mother rejected you, and I have more baggage than the Samsonite factory. We got issues. We talk about issues, we talk about abandonment. Or you can do a brain map, and in my article I talk about a brain map and mind mapping where you can decide where that particular problem you have is in the brain and get out of there. I'm going to make a t-shirt with a picture of the brain with an arrow saying, you're there, get out. For instance, those people who believe in God. God is in the brain, your mother's in the brain, your father's in the brain. If you become brain damage in that spot, you become an atheist. If you seizure in that spot, you start seeing God. So, if you locate where you are in the brain, you can either get out of that or use that. Now, the words that I have a list of words, and in your table, just yell out what word you would use. Afflicted. Afflicted. Is that a good word? Anybody here afflicted?
Oh.
I am. I'm afflicted. Okay. What would you use instead of afflicted?
A person with.
Okay. Or born with, caused by, afflicted by. Okay. Birth defect. Birth defect. That's a good one? Anybody? You there?
No.
Birth defect. What's it? Birth defect. Caused by. You're bonkers. You're crazy. Okay. Cerebral palsy victim. Anybody here a victim?
A person with.
Yeah, that's a person with cerebral palsy. Anybody here a victim? I think we're all victims of gravity. Eventually gravity's going to get you, but I think we're victims. But I'm not you don't want to hit your head on the way to the guillotine. You don't want to be a victim. Don't want to do that. Okay, confined to the bed. Bedridden. Anybody? Anybody? Confined to the bed. Anybody confined to the bed here? Anybody wheelchair bound? Are you wheelchair bound? You got any bounds on you? Wheelchair bound. Crazy. Crippled. Used to be the Crippled Children's Society. Remember the Crippled Children's Society? No more. Crippled. Easter Seal. Deaf and dumb. Now, you hear Laura, what's the name of the lady on the radio? She's always saying, you're deaf and dumb. And the children growing up with these words, just like if you see a person who's a beggar, the self-concept of people who are blind, persons with disability. ADA says put the word person first for the dignity. You have to have dignity of the person. How many defective people here? Anybody defective? You're defective? Good. Okay, defective people, okay. I'm the world's greatest expert, and there's nobody who knows more about me than me. So if defective is good. And on the normative curve, you know the bell curve? You got abnormal, subnormal, and there's only one guy in the middle. That's normal. That's the one guy. That's my problem. My problem is one guy, everybody else. Deformed. Deformed. Dumb mute. Epileptic spastic. How would you like it? You're a mommy. And you got the baby in the carriage, and I look at the baby usually, and then I smile at the mom because the mom created this baby. This is genetic imperative. So now I make a face, make the mommy feel bad, and I say, and what does the mommy do? Now, nice people get nothing. You gotta be rotten if you're gonna be part of my religion. If you got to be part of religion. Now, these attorneys, in the last day of law school, they showed up and they learned to be rotten. Because I don't want to hire an attorney who's nice. Nice people, so you got to be rotten. Now, with ADA, I don't believe in ambushing, and I don't believe in doing that stuff. But very nicely, you go to the owner, and you have the ADA in your pocket. And the ADA, the book, you can get this book. I order 50,000 of them. They send me 50,000 books. I rubber stamp my name in it, and I give them out. It's a nice gift. Birthday gift. Here, ADA. The Bible. Remember the religion? The Bible. So you got the ADA. It is 1994. Or you can download it. You can download the ADA and learn about the titles. Now, This new Supreme Court guy, I was hoping President Bush, there was a rumor that he was going to nominate a gay black woman with a disability. I heard that. Spanish speaking, of course. But the Toyota case emasculated Title I. Title I, 96%, I think, are lost. So anybody has any problems, forget it. I mean, really, unless you have two priests and a rabbi witnessing the problem. Title I's gone. We have Title II and Title III. We forget about, the other guys really don't concern us, although when you watch television and you see the ad to buy the snake oil and it says, read the number on the bottom of the screen for the snake oil, and then if the person's blind, they can't do that unless they have rabbit ears and they can twist it around like a stethoscope and put it in their ears and learn it that way. So there are, and the Federation for the Blind has sued to keep Microsoft and up to date with George. We're doing that stuff. But for the most part, Title III, when you go into a store and they say, this bathroom is only for public access, this bathroom is only for workers, for the staff, what do? What do? You call the health department. It's against the law. The law doesn't, the health department doesn't say it has to be accessible. ADA says, but they can't deprive you of using the bathroom. Sorry, the bathroom's locked. Can't do that. If you are prepared with the law is the tools. And if you know the laws, and then you can go and, again, become troublemakers, become rotten people. Not only are you doing it selfishly on a hedonic basis, but you're doing it to protect the next generation. What are we asking for? We're just asking to be equal. That's all we're doing. Now, I brought some stuff to show you those people who don't know about when we do an ADA evaluation. We have various devices. This is it tells me the angle. Now, the reason I use this guy instead of another type of angle finder, this is, you can get this cheaply. They have all the different angles finders, 8 degrees, 33 minutes, legal RAM. So if you get this, carry in your purse, carry in your pocket, again, you're not to be detectives, but you want to check. The reason I use the big guy is if I go to court, you have to calibrate it 3 times, and you got some judge who says, did you do this? And, so if you go to court, you need this big guy. You need a tape measure. Now, I carry a little tape measure with me all the time. This tape measure has the law written on it. It's got the law written right on it. So if you're over 90 like I am, and you forget stuff, I have a short long-term memory. So if you forget stuff, you can get a tape measure with the law on it, you can, and you can carry it around with you, and again, to measure stuff. Again, 27 inches, it can't stick out more than 4 inches. So if you those stanchions that keep you in line in the movie, things we take for granted. I was blindfolded for a year to get a degree in mobility for the most part, during the day, and I learned Braille and stuff like that. So it's hard enough to have it's hard enough not to see. I mean, I think that people with disabilities, I treat them like heroes. You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to deify them, you're not supposed to ghettoize them, segregate them, cluster them, not supposed to do that. But imagine this guy's crossing the street without seeing. I mean, I can do it, and the cars are getting very quiet, so it's very difficult with the cars. But I can do it. But the guts, I can choose not to, to stay home and not participate in life. But these people, again, a level playing field. Okay, then, excuse me, then we have other things. I have the men's room, ladies' room. Okay, if you go, by the way, to the expressway, go to Orlando, they have these signs with advertising on it, Lysol. It has to go on the latch side, not the hinge side. 60 inches to the middle sign, 3 inches from the threshold. Over here, if you look at this, the men's room sign over here outside the hotel, it's been on the door. And I've warned them 15 times, you gotta move the sign. They don't move the sign. No, I don't want to sue them for the sign. I could rip them off and go to jail and do that. But again, I'll keep on reminding them, writing letters, being a gadfly until they do that. The flusher on the toilet, which side should the flusher be? The wide side, so a person with a disability doesn't have to reach over. The grab bars, in the ADA says whichever is more stringent, the Florida law or the state law. The ADA says that the parking signs have to be seen from the driver's window, Florida says it has to be 7 feet high, you know, the parking in the parking lots. So you really should know, if you're gonna get into this, which is more stringent, which is a better thing. The Metro is, we had a meeting where we're gonna put the toilet paper roll. You know, which is the best place, so the Metro can decide that. This is all sophisticated stuff, but again, if you get into it, then you start networking, and at the country club, you start talking about ADA, and try to convince people the ADA. This is an artificial shoreline. So we can put this so a blind person can follow. I have an angle finder, and I have a slip meter for coefficient of friction tests. This is a light meter, and I do light meter aspects. This thing has to go in threshold, so a blind person has educated feet can discern when to cross the street. You see this on the Metro rail stations. You know, the bike in England they call them blisters. This is a push-pull meter to see if the door, you can push it and pull it, and you can see if the door is too heavy to push open the door. Again, you carry it like a pen, and just tell the restaurant owner, tell the people, give me a card and say, listen, if we need any help, call Dade County, call Center for Independent Living, call, you know, there's tons of people, Easter Seal, cerebral palsy, if they know that. We wrote a law saying you have to come to a full stop when you see someone with a cane, crutch, wheelchair, or walker. Or now we just put in service animal. How many people here come to a full stop? You see a wheelchair user, it's a wheelchair rider going across the street. Don't you go around them? Hey, get out of my way. Nobody comes to a full stop. It's the law. We put in the driver's manual, we put in the driver's test. So by being an activist, and by the way, when I go to the paraplegic meetings and the Federation and the Council for the Blind, I never see anybody there except members. I never see attorneys. I never see professional DVR people, things like that. So if you're really a fanatic on the religion, you show up to this stuff and you learn more stuff from people who come to those meetings than you learn from the textbooks. The last thing I want to tell you is the cane. Now, this is a symbol of independence, not dependence. This is a long cane. This is what we use. It has good conductivity, fidelity, and if you become blind, you just don't pick up the cane and go. You have to learn how to do it. The crook protects your knuckles. If you go in the cafeteria, you can put it back to you and hold it there. It has a grip, so it protects you from electricity. It has Scotch light, so it reflects light at night. And one of the things that the lawyers can do is you can put your business cards on Scotch light and then put it on wheelchairs, because it's a safety thing. And put it on wheelchairs, be creative, and you know, just advertise and say, put in, and get the Braille writer. My cards have Braille with a like it's a stamp from the printing house for the blind that you can get. Again, to be equal, how many attorneys have TDDs? So TDDs, and when you go into a restaurant, they should have TDDs. Again, advocacy. And the last thing I'll say, I guess I got time out, is if you need to, just call me if you need to be yelled at. Anybody who has guilt or anybody who just call me day or night, and I will absolutely yell at you. And I thank you.
Thank you, Bob. Well, there you go. You got a quick demonstration of some of the tools that you should have. I know I have a lot of that when I was an ADA coordinator for the city of Miami Beach and the city of Miami Springs. So it's good to have some of those things around. We do have someone in the crowd that can help you out. Beth, if you can stand up. Beth, you can stand up. She's with HAT, Housing Assistant Technology. And if you need something that your office might need or your home might need, make sure you get her business card, because that's what the business she's in, and she does demonstrations, and she's housed right over at CIL building. So you can always get in touch with her, or either contacting one of us from CIL or getting her business